Hi, it's Lisa. A coaching client I was working with recently was dealing with something that I think is so common to so many women. One of her own employees called her out in a meeting and criticized her leadership, at least in her perspective. As we spoke about the situation, what came to the surface was really that she felt frustrated and she knew she needed to address the situation. Her temptation was either to go soft and collaborative with him or to really bring the hammer down. I think given how she was feeling, the hammer was the more tempting option. We'd been talking about how she can own her leadership and break through some of those messages, that cause you to hold back and not be your full self as a leader, especially for women. As we worked through it, we came up with an option that would allow her to really own her leadership and address this with authority, but without undermining her own leadership style and sort of acting outside of what felt natural for her. The strategy we came up with was to use curiosity to build authority. The first and most important thing is to have a discussion one-on-one with him. A discussion, not an email string or a Slack message. The important things to cover are being clear about what behavior you saw. And then you want to clearly ask, what were you trying to accomplish? Right? It is a counterproductive behavior that he's done, and it is important to ask. And there may be important information there. By calling out the behavior clearly, you're showing that you notice it, and that's actually one of the most important parts here. Now, there were assumptions that she was coming away from the experience with, that he was trying to undermine her authority, that he thought she was doing the wrong thing for her department, that sort of thing. And those are things that you can talk about in the impact potentially, but if you put them into the discussion of the behavior, it actually undermines your authority and can make you sound a bit insecure. Like, why were you doing that? You completely undermined my authority. No, your authority and your leadership is strong enough to withstand someone misbehaving in a meeting. And so not linking your ability to be an effective leader with somebody else's poor behavior is an important thing to owning your authority. So here's what this could look like in practice. I noticed during our meeting today that you brought up some concerns about how our department is functioning. Since I'm fully accountable for the functioning of this department, my expectation is that you would come to me with that information. The impact of bringing it up in a meeting when others don't have accountability for solving that issue is it gives the impression that there's strife in our department and doesn't reflect well on any of us. It was also confusing to me why you didn't just come to me with your concerns, because I'm the one that can actually address them. So what were you trying to accomplish by bringing this up in the meeting? Now you see, this is the start of a conversation. You'll see here that your authority was preserved because you faced the behavior directly and you're not making excuses about the behavior. You're also being clear about the impact or potential impact without making a lot of assumptions about what the person was trying to accomplish. And then by asking, what were you trying to accomplish here? You're allowing that person to talk it through with you. This is when you will find out, is this a missing skill? This person doesn't really understand politics and how those things might have an impact? Or are there actual issues where the person is feeling frustrated or whatever, and they're very bad at talking about it, and so they display it by undermining you in a meeting? These are important things to know, partly because you set expectations, but also partly that you have the conversation and fill the gap of knowledge or of communication. So if someone is frustrated and really was trying to undermine your authority, helping them to understand, having the conversation with you is a much more effective way to deal with it, can really help to not only improve things with that individual, but turn a critic into an ally and have a much more well-functioning relationship. And if there are more of those kinds of behaviors, then you address them directly and you begin to deal with it as a performance issue if it continues. I hope that you find that helpful. I love getting comments from you, so please leave a comment. Let me know what resonated for you in this video. If you have any other things that you'd like to see me post about, please send me a message or leave a comment. I would really love to hear about it. And as always, if there's anything I can do for you, please reach out. Thanks so much.